Have you ever considered how we perceive time, especially in relation to historical events? It's fascinating, isn't it? We often compress history, visualizing it as a single, continuous blur. Events that occurred centuries apart somehow end up feeling like next-door neighbors. Take, for instance, the reign of Cleopatra, Queen of the Nile, and the construction of the Great Pyramids of Giza. But what if I told you Cleopatra lived closer in time to the invention of the iPhone than to the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza? Unbelievable, isn't it? But that's the fascinating twist of time. And today, we'll journey through it, from the sands of ancient Egypt to the sleek tech labs of the 21st century. Let's embark on this time-traveling journey to unravel this paradox. Cleopatra, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, was a woman of exceptional power and political savvy. She ruled Egypt at a time when female leaders were scarce and defied the norms and expectations of her time. Her leadership was characterized by her intelligence and charisma, which enabled her to make strategic alliances and assert her influence on the world stage. Cleopatra lived from 69 BCE to 30 BCE, often referred to as the late Hellenistic period. As the last pharaoh of Egypt, her reign marked the end of an era. Following her death, Egypt became an incorporated province within the Roman Empire, ceasing to remain independent. An accomplished diplomat, political strategist, and a skilled linguist, she balanced the needs and independence of her empire with the rising strength of Roman rule in the Mediterranean. Cleopatra was the only member of her dynasty to speak Egyptian, and was also fluent in 3 other languages: Greek, Roman, and Aramaic. This linguistic prowess greatly aided her diplomatic endeavors. The 1st century BCE was a fascinating era of political upheaval, cultural fusion, and monumental historical events to which Cleopatra played a defining role. Her strategic alliances with the Roman Empire and famed love affairs, notably with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, bolstered her power and shifted the course of history. Cleopatra was a woman who knew how to play the Game of Thrones long before it was a popular television series. In her time, Cleopatra was a force to be reckoned with, a woman who held the world in her grasp. But despite living more than 2,000 years ago, what if I told you that the timeline of Cleopatra's life and reign isn't quite as ancient as you might think? Now let's rewind the clock even further, to the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. This marvel of human ingenuity and endurance was built between approximately 2580 to 2560 BC during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu. Containing over 2 million blocks of stone, the Great Pyramid of Giza was the tallest man-made structure for nearly 4 millennia. This was a time when Egypt was a dominant civilization, setting the standards in art, culture, and monumental architecture. Even though 4,000 years has passed since the construction of this ancient marvel, the Great Pyramid is still widely regarded as one of the most remarkable achievements in human history. Yet for Queen Cleopatra, the Great Pyramid of Giza was already an ancient wonder, having been built almost 2,500 years before she was even born. Now let's fast forward again to the year 2007, more than 2,000 years after Cleopatra's reign. Here the first iPhone was introduced to the world. A device no bigger than the palm of your hand with the power to connect you with anyone, anywhere, anytime. But here's where it gets truly interesting. If we plot these historical events on a timeline and compare them, we find something truly astounding. The distance in time between Cleopatra's reign and the building of the Great Pyramid is roughly 2,500 years. Yet the period between Cleopatra's lifetime and the invention of the iPhone in 2007 is only just over 2,000 years. This means Cleopatra lived closer to the invention of the iPhone in 2007 than to the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza, a paradox that's hard to wrap your mind around, isn't it? Time, as we perceive it, is a linear concept, a constant progression from past to future. Yet, when we consider Cleopatra, the Great Pyramid of Giza, and the iPhone, we stumble upon a fascinating twist in our understanding of time. Cleopatra, a queen who ruled over 2,000 years ago, lived closer in time to us and the invention of the iPhone than to the construction of the Great Pyramid. And the Great Pyramid itself, a marvel of ancient engineering, was already ancient history to Cleopatra. So the next time you hold a smartphone in your hand, remember it's not just a device, it's a symbol of human progress that spans millennia. a testament to the grand tapestry of human history, woven with threads of time stretching from the pyramids to the palm of your hand, from stones to smartphones. That's pretty neat.